There has been considerable bitterness in Israel over the appearance of Yasser Arafat at the United Nations and the subsequent debate on the Middle East. It's felt here that, if anything, this has increased the chances of a new war. And if the fighting does break out again between the Arabs and Israelis, inevitably the new battleground will be the much fought-over Golan Heights. Stretched across the Golan is the Israeli front line, little more than 40 miles from Damascus, and manned by the thin screen of troops in fortified positions whose numbers were dictated by the negotiations that separated the two armies after the war of last year. In as sensitive an area as this, the soldiers are permanently on alert. The troops are exposed, little armor and no heavy artillery immediately behind them, as agreed in the ceasefire settlement, and a network of anti-tank ditches marking the buffer zone to the front. That's the UN's territory, their buildings daubed in white. They patrol the no-man's land with the job of reporting on any violations of the agreement. Their zone is sometimes several kilometers wide, at others just a few hundred yards. It's at the devastated Syrian town of Quneitra that the two sides are closest. And it's to here that the Syrians bring their tourists to show them the damage. And it's here, too, that Israeli civilians gather to shout across the barbed wire and minefields that divide the Arab world from Israel. And whatever the seriousness of the situation on the Golan, after Mr. Rabin's warning of this afternoon to the Soviet Union, the Israelis had their visitors by the coachload. Jewish Americans, anxious to meet the forward troops, pay for their equipment, and wish them well.
Fight hard if you have to.
Don't give up, that's it. Stay tight, and that's it.
After they'd gone, the soldiers were left to concern themselves with the front line and the Israeli Prime Minister's revelation of the shiploads of arms now being unloaded into Syria.